And then we will. All right, welcome everyone. I'm Dan Stockwell, the DALMAC director, and with me tonight is Dave Mansfield, who is our super wonderful map guy. He does all the maps for the tour and many other tours, in fact, other clubs. He's an expert at the map making, and he is also an expert at Ride with GPS. So let me go ahead and share my presentation here, and then we'll really get rolling. All right, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so we are recording. The presentation is up and ready to go. I've got more people to admit. I'll have to pause while we do that. We have a good crowd tonight. Very happy to see that. So tonight we are going to have I hope, a very informative meeting for you that will highlight basically kind of the rules of the road with DALMAC and how we operate the tour, and a review of the maps, the map books, and the Ride with GPS. We've got some exciting stuff with Ride with GPS this year. We've added a feature that will allow you to look up while you're on the tour, on the route, and on the day of your route. You'll be able to look up what services and restaurants and coffee shops and ice cream stores and things are available on the route. So we think that's a big improvement, will be very helpful for folks who want to plan what their day is going to look like. Still admitting some people. So I will move right into talking about what we need to know about DALMAC and some of the rules that we have. You will receive, if you've registered for the tour, you'll receive some more information about this in the form of a letter from me, and also at the time that you check in for the tour at the beginning of your tour. So basically, we've done this for 54 years, so we've got a pretty good idea of what the basic do's and don'ts and what works and what doesn't work. And pretty much everything we talk about is for the benefit of riders to have a great, enjoyable, and safe time. If you have questions while you're on the tour, I will be on the tour. I will not be riding my bike because I respond to a lot of other kind of traffic as the tour goes along. But you'll be able to spot the crew members. They'll be wearing bright yellow crew shirts. And if you have any questions during the tour, you can find me or you can talk to any one of our crew members. They'll be glad to help you out. Dave included. Dave is on our 5 West route, and he is a truck driver, and his wife Carolyn, they help manage the camp every night for the 5 West. As I mentioned, the rider's packet you will receive does have information, a document that describes things in more detail. If you have not done so, I would recommend that you go to the dalmac.org website and look at the writer's handbook. That's the detailed, extensive handbook for everything you need to know about the tour. It's important that you read everything in your packet because there's some key information about where things will happen, what time things will happen. It's important for you to know that. We are 100% volunteer operated. No one is paid for any of this. I've been the director for 3 years. Dave's been doing this for I don't know how many years, Dave, quite a while. And we are very happy to be volunteers. We love it. We do always look for new volunteers. So if you're interested in helping the tour at some point, you can send an email to volunteer@dalmac.org and express your interest in volunteering for the tour, and you'll get some information back. So that's very important because we do operate entirely on the volunteers. So in the map booklet, and you'll receive the map booklet in your rider packet when you come to check in for the ride. The north is either pointing up or to the right. So if you orient the map when you're looking at the map, there'll be a compass rose that it shows which direction, but in the orientation on the page, it's either to the up is to the right or to the top. And that there are exceptions, but please take a look at your map book when you get it. That'll help you understand how that works. We have included cue sheets at the back of the booklet. So if you're a writer that likes to operate from cue sheets, the cue sheets are there. You're able to do that. The cities are indicated in parentheses on the cue sheet so you can know where you are. The map booklet, in addition to the service that Dave is going to demonstrate tonight, the book shows the locations of lunch stops, porta potties, repair truck locations, etc. So you will have all of that information in hand if you have a map booklet with you. And we obviously highly recommend you keep that map booklet tucked away in your jersey pocket and handy for you to refer to. The route leader's name and phone number will be on the first page of the map booklet. So if you're a 5 West rider, the route leaders are Jay and Karen Fox, and their information will be in the front of the map booklet. Same for the East, which is Dan Alexander. And in the 4-day, it is Steve Jansen. So all that information is in that booklet. The SAG number for your route is in the book, and we'll talk more about how you engage SAGs and what SAGs are for. If you're in a crash involving a motor vehicle or injury to a rider, call 911 first. Don't rely on calling the SAG for that. We want you to call the SAG, but dial 911 first. Take care of yourself or help another person on the tour before you call the SAG. We do want you to call the SAG because we do need to fill out an incident report. Important notes are around in the camp. We have a lot of signs and we will indicate camping areas. If you use a CPAP machine, the area where the CPAPs can be used, the meal locations, and other directions that are specific to each site. Because every site is different and there will be signs. The crew puts signs up before you arrive and will direct you where to go. Look for a white pop-up tent. That's the headquarters for that route. We set that up first when we get to the overnight stop, and there you'll find a person there to give you help, lemonade and water, and we also, as a spot, you can drop off any lost and found items that you come across. Each overnight stop will have a filtered water supply to fill bottles and water backpacks. We have some nicely designed water horses that we hook up with filters, and you can fill up and keep your hydration going. Meal times, breakfast is generally 6:30 to 8 in the morning, and these, you'll note, these do change sometimes by site. Be sure to check, but generally these are the fixed times for the meals. Dinner is 5 to 7, but again, make sure that you have a look at the signs in the camp. Make sure that you are there for the meal times. Return bus information. There are 3 bus departures from Mackinac City. If you've purchased a bus ticket, the departure for East Lansing is 3 p.m. sharp. That East Lansing, that first bus goes out at 3 p.m. sharp. And the bicycles must be on the bike return trucks before 2 p.m. So a full hour or more before. So the reason we bring this up is you need to plan your ride that day to make sure that you arrive in Mackinac City at whatever your pace is, to make sure that you are there in time to get your bike on the truck. The second departure for East Lansing is at 6 p.m. And that, again, the same rule there is the bikes need to be loaded on the truck before 5 o'clock to make sure that everything is loaded and secured. And we get you loaded onto the bus with your box lunch, which is included when you purchase a bus ticket. You get a box lunch. The departure for Grayling and Gladwin is 4:30 p.m. Same rule, 3:30 p.m. The bikes need to be on the trucks ready for transport down to Grayling and Gladwin if you're on one of the shorter, the 3-day or the 2-day routes. Uh, there, of course, got to be rules. You get a bunch of people together. We have to have some kind of rules, keep things orderly and happening. We appreciate so much our locations where we camp. These are high schools. All of them are high schools or public schools, except on the 4-day east or 5-day east. We are using Alma College for the first time there. But we really want to keep these clean so that when we go back next year and say, will you please host us again? They don't have to say, well, you left a mess. And in all the years I've been doing this, I've never heard of any school reporting that we were bad neighbors or bad campers. Load your own bags on the trucks beginning at 7 o'clock in the morning. The trucks will leave at 9 a.m. And you bring the bags to the truck. There will be truck loaders there, truck drivers, to assist you if you need. One note while I'm there, make sure that, and we're going to weigh your bags. I'll just tell you a little anecdote. Dave will remember this. We had a rider, I think the bag, I think the guy's bag had got to be 80 or 85 pounds. It was like a hockey bag. It was a gigantic bag. And I said, what in the world do you have in this bag? It was just crazy. And that's really hard for us. So try to keep your bag weight within the limits that we've established, which is, I think, 45 pounds. And if you have an extra bag, we allow 2 bags. If you have an extra bag, you can purchase an extra bag ticket at rider check-in. Try to get everything in some bags and keep the weight down because it really is, remember, we're volunteers. A lot of us are old, so it's harder for us to get that bags on the truck. We ask you to give us a hand in unloading the baggage trucks. The baggage trucks arrive generally very early into camp. Generally by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, the baggage trucks are there at the next stop. And we ask you to give us a hand. We unload the bags. The trucks pull along. We throw the bags down. Well, not throw them down. We take them down off the truck as we pull the trucks forward. And that's where they will be found. If it's raining, and it's not going to rain, we're not going to allow that to happen. But if it does rain, we put plastic down on the ground and we load the bags on top of the plastic, and then we put another big plastic sheet over the bags to protect them from the rain. But as I say, we're not going to allow rain to happen. No bicycles and no e-bike charging inside the overnight facilities. We have promised our schools that we will leave bicycles and particularly e-bikes because of the potential for battery fires, which we've not had happen. We will, if we find an e-bike in the school, we will remove it because we cannot have the batteries inside the school. We provide a canopy outside that has multiple outlets to plug in your e-bikes if you need to. Keep in mind that your wristband that you'll receive at rider check-in, that wristband is your ticket to all the services for DALMAC. That includes the meal service, the SAG service, any of the services that we provide, your admittance to the schools for the use of the restrooms and showers. All of those things are given access to you by that wristband. So make sure that you display that prominently. If we've had riders have it break or fall off, as soon as you get to camp, let the staff know and they will give you a replacement. Use of helmets is mandatory. Did I miss one? Let me see. I thought I maybe missed one. No, I didn't. Okay. Use of helmets is mandatory. If you are not wearing a helmet and you're spotted by one of the crew, you will be asked to put on a helmet. That's a basic safety item. Pets are not allowed on any TCBA sponsored tour. that was too much. We were starting to have an overload of animals, and the board of directors of Tri-County Bicycle Association uh, held a lot of conferences and calls and meetings about this, and developed a pet policy, which you can find on biketcba.org. And that, acquaint yourself with that. And we just cannot have pets on the tour. Charging stations will be available to charge phones and other devices. We have a wonderful volunteer named Pete, and he built these charging stations that are really terrific. You can charge any kind of device you want, and we set those up inside the schools, and you can use those to charge your taillights, headlights, GPS, phones, watches, whatever else. What we discovered over the years that the number of electronic devices that people carry with them is tremendous. When I first started riding DALMAC, in my first ride was in 2005, I had a cell phone. That was it. And now I've got a GPS and 2 rechargeable lights and a watch that needs recharging sometimes, and a phone, and sometimes you've got your entertainment devices. So we responded to that, and we have plenty of charging for those things. So on the road, most of you, I hope all of you, are experienced with riding on the road and familiar with the rules and the laws regarding the use of bicycles on Michigan roads. Obey all the traffic laws. Nothing makes cars madder than bicyclists who disregard the traffic laws. So make sure that if you're driving an automobile or a bicycle, I think you know what those rules are. Ride safely and defensively, and be sure to report any road rage or aggression toward riders by calling 911. We brief the law enforcement agencies all along the routes. I send them a letter and remind them that we're coming through and ask them to cooperate with us on the tour. And they're expecting us, and they will respond if you run across a driver who expresses some outrage at you or is aggressive toward you on the road. Our SAG services, we're not Uber. We are there to basically take care of any, not necessarily emergency, but a situation in which you need assistance from the SAG vehicle. The SAG vehicles will be driving up and back and forth on the route, starting shortly after the riders leave in the morning from the school, and they will all day up to the SAG lines that are on the map. And Dave can tell you about SAG lines on the map, which basically says you need to be at this point on the map by a certain time. And those drivers will be going back and forth on the route to assist you with if you need an air pump or you need a Band-Aid, you need some water. We've got all those things to help you. If you need help, tap the top of your helmet, or my old bald head. You tap the top of the helmet, and that's the sign to the SAG driver that you would like them to stop. Don't wave or make other kinds of motions. They will wave back and say, thanks, have a nice day, but tap the top of your helmet if you need help. We are there to help with mechanical and to assist. The rider cannot go further because of physical issues. We will take you to the next repair station or into camp or to a location up the route. We are happy to provide this service, but we've all got stories, those of us who worked the crew for a long time, of riders who decide, well, I think I'm going to ride about 10 miles and then I'm going to flag down a SAG, and I'll ride with them for 20 minutes and I'll get out and ride some more, and then I'll flag them down again. That's not the purpose of the SAGs. The SAGs are there to respond to issues you're having and to take you to the next logical place up the route. We do carry water. We have a tire pump. We will not perform repairs or change your tire, but we do have a pump that you can use to change your own tire. We have a first aid kit, and a well-equipped first aid kit in every SAG vehicle. You'll be responsible for patching yourself up. So if you take a bit of a spill and you've skinned up your knees or something, we've got bandages and we will happy to provide those to you, but you will need to patch yourself up. If you're injured enough that you require medical assistance, we will call 911 for you and have a paramedic respond. So Ride with GPS and the maps. We, Tri-County Bike Association and DALMAC do use Ride with GPS as our preferred navigation tool. DALMAC riders have access to Ride with GPS for the tour. If you don't already have a subscription to Ride with GPS, when you're on the tour, and Dave will explain this, you have access to Ride with GPS during the tour. If you're a member of Tri-County Bike, and this is a big advantage of being a member of Tri-County, if you're not, you should join. You get the Ride with GPS product for free as a member of the Tri-County Bicycle Association. And Dave, I've introduced, is our maps, routes, and GPS expert, and he's going to give an introduction using Ride with GPS and the new route stops and amenities directory. So, Dave, I'm going to stop sharing and let you take over and talk to us about maps and Ride with GPS.
Okay. I'll share my screen here. Okay, this is my phone you're seeing on the screen.
I'm not seeing it yet, Dave.
You're not seeing it?
Not yet. I'm not seeing it. Is anybody else seeing it?
Yes, we see it. I see it. We
Okay,
can see
I'm
it.
sorry. It's
I
just,
see it. I see it.
Okay, this is Ride with GPS, and we have what's called a Ride with GPS experience, which is a real nice package. And if you have the Ride with GPS app, you'll see the shortcut. If I click on shortcut, then I can enter a shortcut code or I can scan a QR code. And I'm sure Dan will be sending out an email with the shortcut code and the QR code, and those will also be on the back of your map book. And you don't need a Ride with GPS account. If you have one, you just go in your account and enter the shortcut or scan it. If you don't have one, it'll give you the option of entering the shortcut code without ever joining Ride with GPS. Just download the app. Then when we go in to it, like if I pull up DALMAC East here, and right now there's updates. So I'm going to hit download. And so it'll tell you every time you go in if there's been any updates. And now it will bring the experience up. And I got a page for SAG and other phone numbers. Itinerary, which tells you baggage loading times, breakfast, dinner, etc. Then there's a route page for each day, like Wednesday, MSU to Elma. And this one warns you that when you're leaving the pavilion, there's baggage trucks for different routes. So make sure you load your baggage on the East Route truck. And it tells you where the PSM stops are, private SAG meeting points, if you got a car that's going to meet you. And on the East Route, we have a road route and a gravel route, and the last 2 days a trail route. So that this gives you the road route and the gravel route. And say I want to ride the road today, I just click on it, brings it up, and if I hit navigate, then it will start giving me turn-by-turn voice navigation. You can also see that there's some points of entrance along the way. Like if I click on that one, that's a good place for lunch is in Maple Rapids. And DALMAC provides porta potties and repair truck and water horse, etc. there. But it'll tell you, and you'll be able to see on the map as you navigate, and it'll also tell you, turn left, turn right, etc. So now let's say I'm navigating, and of course I'm sitting at home now, so you can't see the route. But if I was actually navigating, it would show me the distance right below the map on the left that I've ridden. And if I want to know what uh, stops I have, I can just go back here. Then I see Wednesday route stops. And then in the case of the east route, we got one for road and one for gravel. I'm on road. So I hit that. And I find it easier for this if you turn the screen sideways, easier to read. So say I happen to look at my distance and it's at 20 miles. I can see there's a rest stop at 25.5 miles, and there's porta potties and a repair truck there. There's a restaurant at 38 miles, several of them actually, more porta potties and repair truck. Uh, so I can look and see what's coming ahead of me on the route. We had a volunteer that created all of this in a spreadsheet, and then I just imported it into Ride with GPS. And this is all, when you load this, everything is loaded on your phone. So all the routes, all this stuff is all on your phone. So if you don't have cell service, it's not a problem. GPS will still work. And then I can just go back, return to navigation, and I'm right back navigating again. And, my distance will be going up as I ride. And if I want to look again, see my stops, I can. So I'd advise loading this even if you're using like a dedicated GPS, because on your phone you have the extra information, SAG phone numbers, route stops, etc. That's not going to be on your GPS. We'll also provide a link to Ride with GPS event, which is a little easier to load routes on your GPS using a Garmin, Wahoo, etc. And then we'll also, as Dan mentioned, provide a route book, map book. Let me pull that up here. Okay, this is a map book I'm sharing. It's 5 West map book. This is an old one. Let me see. I'll go 4 West because that's a 2025 book. But it's got your route coordinator and phone numbers and SAG phone numbers, etc. Phone number for Padres and bike repair, all the same information that's in Ride with GPS. Then it's got a page that kind of shows what the different symbols mean. And this is what maps look like. And the blue line is the main route line. If there's an alternate route, it'll be in black. And see, here's a good lunch stop at Maple Rapids. Has restaurants, bike repair, porta potties, etc. Here's a SAG line Dan mentioned where it says 11 a.m. So you should be at or past this point by 11 a.m. 2 reasons. One is to make sure you get to camp in plenty of time. And 2 is SAGs will not actively be patrolling the route behind the SAG line. That's not to say they won't come get you if you call them, but they're not going to be out actively looking for you. So it's a good idea to stay ahead of the SAG lines. I'll get to a page. I got some alternate routes on. Okay, here is on Sunday. Um, 4 West starts in East Jordan and goes up the wall. If you don't want to climb the wall, it's a pretty steep hill. You can go around through the little town of Advance, and it's a scenic route, and it gets you around the wall, and that's indicated in black. And then at the end of these, you have the cue sheets, and it tells you turn right on Pavilion for 0.1 mile. Then at 0.1 mile, turn left on Farm Lane, which changes names to Collinwood. And you're on that for 2.1 miles. So 2.2 miles, turn left on Elizabeth for 0.4 miles and follow that through. And like here, when you turn left on Dill, you go in the town of DeWitt, and the towns are in parentheses along the way, and that will get you right to your finish. Is there any questions on the GPS or the maps?
You can put you can do a chat if you want. You put it questions in chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask.
When would the best time be to download the map, the GPS?
You can download it now if you're using the phone app, the Experience. If for some reason it gets updated, um, it will, when you go in, it will notify you that there's updates and prompt you to download it. If you're using an actual GPS, a Garmin or Wahoo or anything, so you're loading from the Experience, or not the Experience, the event. If I update anything, I'll post in that event the date and time that route was updated. So if you're using that, I would advise checking back right before the tour. I'm not planning on any updates, but you never know when some county road commission's going to decide to do road work that they didn't tell us about when we asked. So it's always good to check back. You can also download the maps uh, in a PDF file and look at those if you want to. And there again, if you do that, check back in case there's any updates. And when you're at registration, uh, registration will, like your hat and your map packet, there'll be information that there's updates after the maps went to the printer, which they have. And that would also notify you that you need to check your GPS and or your maps.
So someone just asked if there are audible instructions as you're writing in Riva GPS, and the answer is yes. Riva GPS does have voice prompts. You got to turn the volume up a little bit on your device, but it does have voice prompts. Are there other
Dave,
questions?
Dave, do those voice prompts play if your screen is off?
Yes, and actually your screen can be off while you're navigating. And when you get to a turn, you can, depending on how you have your settings, your screen can pop back live again for the turn. But even if the screen stays off, the voice will tell you, turn right on Park or turn right on M66, whatever the case is.
Great, thank you.
Other questions about maps or anything else? So the question in the chat is, if we aren't a member of the TCBA, do we have to wait for a code to be able to have access to the RIVA GPS? The code will be coming out. I send a letter to all riders, the specific to their route, and the link to be able to access the RIVA GPS will be in that letter. And that'll come out approximately 1 week before the tour starts. Other questions? Well, just as a reminder, if you've ridden DALMAC before, you may remember that we painted the roads with a marking. We are not marking the roads this year. There will be no painting of the roads. We substituted Ride with GPS, and our route ambassadors who are working have been scouting the route to make sure that we don't have any issues or problems. So they are doing that work instead of painting. Now, if you're a gravel rider, at some turns, we will provide some turn guidance because sometimes there are no street signs out in the country on dirt roads. And we will, at selected turns, we will put wooden survey stakes with some unique paint marks on them to tell you to look at your map, basically, and determine which way you need to turn. Are there other questions?
I got a question.
Go.
I've contacted you about dropping my bike or dropping my car off at Gladwin and riding a 5-day ride, and dropping my gear off in Lansing before the ride. Now, I've actually got somebody that could drop my gear off, and I could then just meet up in Elma to pick up my gear for the first, or my tags or everything else for the first day. Is that allowed? Can I do that? If I tell you who's actually gonna drop it off, and he can just mark my bags, put them on the truck.
We do require, we do have a policy of looking at your identification before you're given your packet and your wristband. So that presents a little bit of an issue there.
But I'll pick up the packet and wristband in Elma. Can I do that?
Yes, you can pick up your packet and wristband in Alma.
But the bags would be dropped off in Lansing because he would be bringing them down and dropping them on.
I think I need to think about how we could do that. Karen, I know Karen's on the call. Do you have any thoughts on that? There, she just wrote in.
Won't be able to have a baggage tag until you pick up the packet.
Right.
But is there a way that he can, because otherwise I got to drive all the way to Lansing, but he's already going there anyways. And so it just saves me about 4 hours of driving.
One thing is we're going to be watching the bag tags close in East Lansing because we're going to have baggage trucks going to different locations. So we want to physically see the tags to make sure the baggage is on the right truck. So unless Dan can figure out a way to work around that.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Send whoever asked that question, send me an email at.
Okay, I will. Okay, thanks.
There was another topic here. What is a good location for having someone pick us up in Mackinac City? The Mackinac City High School is where we end the tour, and that's where you will be picked up. We're in a pretty tight space at Mackinac City High School because they have a big construction project going on. So we just ask for whoever's going to pick you up to be very cautious about entering the area. We will have traffic cones and people directing traffic because basically we end up with 900 riders in a very small space on Sunday afternoon. So It's pretty much controlled chaos, but that's where you'll be picked up is at Mackinac City High School. Other questions? All right. Well, I appreciate you all taking the time to attend, and I hope this has been helpful for you as you get prepared for this, what we hope is going to be an amazing tour. And we've got some big improvements. Big thanks to Dave for the Ryba GPS improvements that we have. That is going to really help riders a lot to know what's ahead of them in terms of the services that are out there. So thank you, Dave. And thank you all very much for riding DALMAC. If you are attending this, you have not yet registered for DALMAC, because this invitation went out to everybody, not just registered riders. If you've not registered yet for DALMAC, you still have time. July 31st is the cutoff for registration. So if you haven't registered, get in there and sign up. We look forward to having you. All right, this meeting was recorded, and I will send out an email that will give you the link to the recording once I've gone through and processed it, which will allow you to review all of this information or share it with friends if you want to share it. Someone says, definitely bring a chair. Yep, that's a good idea. All of us have chairs in the back of our cars. It's a very good thing to do. Okay, thank you all very much for attending this evening. I appreciate it, and hope to see you on the road. Look for me out there. I'll be wandering around helping folks out. So we appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great evening and get some riding in the next few weeks, and be safe out there. Thank you.